Keys. I'm in the foreign vibing, sliding, feeling like Fabio, big drill, it's murder, nothing like Bobby though. Hey, just me and her, we lurking, I am, she a demon with them curses.
What's up with Wakanda right now? Well, there's a few things going on for us right now to get another glimpse inside of Wakanda. For one, we have a new game, well, 2 new games, then we have 2 shows. Let's get into it. And the first thing I want to go over is a new Black Panther game from Cliffhanger Studios. Now, this is a new studio under EA. It's in Seattle. And I think the head is Kevin Stevens. If I'm saying his name right, might be Stefan. I'm going to say Stevens, Kevin Stevens. Now, he used to be with Monolith Productions, and they made the games Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Those are games that has that Nemesis system. So it's a possibility we can see that in this game, but I don't want to hold my hopes up too high because that studio that he left is making the Wonder Woman game. Now, back to Black Panther. It's not much known about this game. We just know it's the third-person action adventure and that it's going to be story-driven. So that might means we get to choose, or choices like dictate which path we go down, so multiple endings. Or it could just be during the story, he did this, so later on this happened. No actual choice. But we'll see when we get more information about that. And the major thing about it that we don't really know is if it's going to be open world or just like mission based single maps. You know, a single map you can explore but you can't go anywhere, that type thing, or just an open world like, I don't know, GTA where you just do missions, go everywhere, or Assassin's Creed. I think that's a good comparison. Assassin's Creed or a God of War type game. But we'll see. I'm pretty sure this is going to be on both consoles. I doubt the Switch. I know it's going to be on Xbox and PlayStation, but I don't know about the Switch. But either way it goes, this is one game I'm looking forward to because we're going to do a deep dive into Wakanda and how they live and how their whole, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Culture, the culture of Wakanda. So I'm definitely here for that. Looking forward to it. Open world or mission based, doesn't matter. Just give me T'Challa. And yeah, at one point I did hear it was supposed to be T'Challa's son. Don't do that. Just make it T'Challa. Let us play with T'Challa. Please, let us play with T'Challa. And our next game is a team up between Black Panther and Captain America. Now this one comes from Skydance New Media and Amy Hennings. I think it's Hennings. She's the head of that one. Now she has also been a part of the Uncharted series, so she is an expert when it comes to story-driven narratives. And that's what pretty much this is going to be. A story-driven narrative about Captain America, Black Panther, and 2 other people too. I'm going to get into them in a second. Now, one of the biggest things about this one is I was worried at first if this was going to be a single player or 4-player co-op. I'm leaning more toward the co-op because we have 4 different people, but a single player still could be there with just you using your team or just associating with your team. You know, the more I think about it, the more I think it's going to be a single player team. It's pretty much like Uncharted in God of War, where you just have other people that you use with you on your journey there. Or you may have a few missions where you play with one single person or the other single person, you know, or different characters. Now, who are these characters? We already know Black Panther, but this one's actually going to be Azuri, I believe, the king of Wakanda in the 1940s. He's actually T'Challa's grandfather, so we're going to get to play with him. I hope his fighting style is a little bit different. I know it's still going to be similar, but just show me a little bit different stuff with him because he's older, you know? Next is Captain America. Now, as we all know, this is Steve Rogers, but he's going to be early on in his career since, you know, he fought in World War II, so he's going to be like 19 years old. The one thing that has me asking questions is, where's Bucky? Who really knows? Well, this time we have somebody else from the Hollow Commandos. We have Gabriel Jones. I'm not going to lie, Gabriel looks black, so I'm cool with this. But he's an ally to Captain America, a U.S. soldier. I guess I have to look in the comics to find out more about him. Then last but definitely not least is Nanali. I believe I said that right. Yeah, she's a leader of the Wakanda Spy Network. And in the comics, she was the queen of the Wakanda around that time. And I know she's going to be a beast because Rwanda was a beast and Okoye was a beast. So I know she has to be like 3 times a beast of the rest of them. I'm looking forward to playing with her too. And it's always nice to have at least one female character in the game. So again, we don't really know much else about the game, but I am looking forward to this one. I highly think it's going to be a single player driven story mode, just like Uncharted, because that is her area of expertise. But we have 2 more things to talk about. 2 TV shows or Marvel spotlights, whatever you want to call them. Let's check them out though. This show really caught my attention. It's called Eye of Wakanda. Now, this is supposed to be a show about the spies or the spy network of Wakanda and how they went out to the rest of the world and retrieved lost items of vibranium. And we learned in the first Black Panther, especially with Killmonger, that they have certain people out there just watching and making sure everything's okay. So Wakanda already knew about that vibranium axe, I guess you can say, or tool that they had in the British museum. They already knew about that, and there was probably a spy just watching that, waiting for T'Challa to tell him to come bring it back. But anyways, that show seems hella interesting to me, man. And the best part about it is it's going to be different time periods too. So we're not just going to see somebody from like 2000s or the 90s. It's going to be something like even I guess you could say the 30s, 1800s. It's going to be different periodic time periods, and I like that. That sounds so dope. It's giving us much more rich history about them, and hopefully we get to meet Bashanga. I think it's Bashanga. I think he was the first Black Panther. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Now it'd be awesome if we get to see him. And this is supposedly it's supposed to come out in 2024 at the end of the year, but I don't know because it's reportedly to have that same art style as What If, and What If takes a while to animate. So I don't know unless they started this in like 2020, I can probably be almost done with it. But I don't know. We probably won't see this until 2025. But again, I'm highly anticipating this. I can't wait for this to come out. It's going to give us a lot more lore about Wakanda, and I'm here for it. Now with this last show, we heard about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It just haven't, begin to bear fruit yet. But it talks about Okoye and the Midnight Angels. Now, as we know, Okoye was a part of the Dora Milaje, the all-woman elite force of Wakanda. But the funny thing about it is, as we look at the other game, we know that Nanali was a part of the spy network too, and she was the queen. So I wonder, is the queen always attached to the spy network? Because T'Challa's girlfriend, I forget her name at the moment, but she was in the spy network. So it makes me wonder, is there going to be any type of connection? I don't know. But again, I'm actually really happy about this too, because the Midnight Angels looks dope. Her and Anaki, I believe I said her name right. Anaka. Yeah, so I'm really interested to see what they do with her. Okoye is a good, strong character. I like her. I want to see more about her. Maybe even a little history on her. And I want to see if she ever talks to her husband again, because I know he's locked up. And I know the actor couldn't come back because he was doing Nope, I think. Yeah, I think it was Nope, or the other movie with the ghost flying around everywhere, or the cloud, the alien, whatever it was, I can't remember. But again, this is going to be a Marvel spotlight. It's spotted for maybe late 2025, and I hate to say it, but it's going to be out before Ironheart. I thought Ironheart would have came out already too, but I guess not, because Ironheart is going to play directly into Armor Wars. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that too. But again, all 4 topics that I wanted to talk about was a cliffhanger game about Black Panther. Sound dope. The Skydance, the media dance with Black Panther and Captain America. Again, sound dope. Aya Wakanda, that's going to be dope. That's one of my most anticipated things. That show is going to be awesome. I know it is. And last but not least, Okoye and the Midnight Angels. That's it. Appreciate nature.